Hello, and welcome to Sharing Stories, a seasonal podcast featuring profiles of help and hope from the Season of Sharing Fund. I'm David Boyer. Did you know it costs upwards of $50,000 to help one person find stable housing after they lose their home? Meanwhile, it takes just a couple of $1,000s to help someone deal with an unexpected financial emergency and stay in their home. That is where Season of Sharing Fund comes in. Thanks to our donors and partner agencies, since 1986, Season of Sharing Fund has been able to provide some peace of mind to more than 185,000 people in the Bay Area. The fund has been there for individuals and families in times of crisis, when just a month or two of rent made the difference between staying in their home and becoming unhoused. Over the course of this series, I'm going to introduce you to a few folks who've recently received one-time support from Season of Sharing Fund. But today, we're going behind the scenes to meet a couple of the people who help make it all happen, starting with Season of Sharing Fund's Executive Director.
I'm Kevin Swanson. I'm the Executive Director of the Season of Sharing Fund. When I moved to the Bay Area in 1993, I didn't come for a job. I came here for a community that was generous, that was compassionate, that was thoughtful. That reputation of the San Francisco Bay Area, it pulled this Iowa boy here, and I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to figure out, how do I make a difference? And so I worked in nonprofit organizations, and I finally made my way to this amazing organization called Season of Sharing Fund. On a daily basis, I'm amazed and I'm humbled by the people that I get to work with, the donors that trust us with their funds, the clients that just need a little bit of help, and the caseworkers and community partner organizations. The backbone of the work we do is through them. They know who needs help. They know how to deliver that help. So this community of people coming together to provide a little bit of help for somebody that's in need so they can get back on their feet. What better thing for me to do on a daily basis than to provide help, hope, and home? I love my job. I love how tangible it is. And the fact that if you give me $100, I'm going to put that $100 to use. That $100 could pay somebody's PG&E bill. If you give me $2,000, I know that $2,000 is going to pay somebody's rent so they can stay in their home. And what a beautiful thing that is to know that you help somebody to keep their house.
For Kevin, these struggles, paying rent, putting food on the table, are not abstract.
I grew up in a household that could have benefited from Season of Sharing Fund. My mom was a single parent, raising 4 kids in rural Iowa, and worked 2 or 3 jobs to help cover the costs of her house, feeding 4 kids, paying the bills. There were moments where my mother struggled, and I recall on a few different occasions where I would, supposed to be in bed, come up to the kitchen, and I'd see her sitting at the kitchen table with a piece of paper and a pen and trying to figure out how she's going to pay the bills. And the math didn't always add up. And so that obviously sticks with me. And I carry that, and it's getting choked up. But that's really the driving force for me, to know how much people can struggle who are really trying to make it work. And if it doesn't, how difficult that can be for them to get back on their feet. Thankfully, we never were unhoused or became homeless. My mom tried really hard, and we knew what was going on, and we were very grateful kids for what she did and how she got us to our adulthood. But I feel that I know what people experience when they don't know if they can cover their rent or don't know if they can pay their bill. I feel that, and it drives me in what I do every day.
So, can you tell me a bit about how Season of Sharing Fund came to be?
So in 1986, the Evelyn Walter Haas Jr. Fund and the San Francisco Chronicle came together with this brilliant idea to create an organization that would help people experiencing an unexpected crisis. Maybe they lost their job or their hours were cut back or they were unable to go to work for some reason or another. That can really upset the delicate balance of somebody's budget. Recently, we had this family, very sad situation where they were involved in a car accident to no fault of their own. They had 4 kids. The kids were hospitalized. The parents were hospitalized. No one could work. They didn't have an income. And so we covered a month or 2 of rent until everyone got better. And then the mom and dad could go back to work. So it's a very simple, a great model that's been tried and tested over the many, many years. And we work with about 150 different partner agencies throughout the 9 counties of the Bay Area. So there's caseworkers, case managers at all of those agencies. And they are the ones that work with the clients, work with people that are experiencing a crisis. So they'll do the application with them. They'll let them know that they've been approved for funding. And so these agencies, they're the ones that are on the front lines. They understand what's happening in the communities that they serve. So they know how to reach the people that are in need of assistance. And those people also know that these organizations are a beacon within their community, and they know that they can go there for some kind of assistance. They might not know about rental assistance when they walk in, but they're sure to find out about us if they are in need of that.
One of those organizations is Community Action Marin. Season of Sharing Fund has worked with them since the fund began.
My name is Laurel Hill, and I am the Director of Safety Net Services here at Community Action Marin. Basically, everything that we do is focused on issues of poverty, helping people that live in the community. I grew up in Marin County. I had never heard of Community Action Marin until I came here for a job interview. Absolutely, if you had asked me 30 odd years ago, how long do you think you'll stay? I had never stayed at a job more than a couple of years. So the fact that I'm here 30 years later is kind of incredible to me. But I think it is because we're a constantly evolving agency. And I'm proud of the work that Community Action Marin does in this community.
In addition to the rental assistance program with Season of Sharing Fund, the list of Community Action Marin services is extensive.
A big portion of what we do is subsidized childcare, so that's kids 0 to 5. We provide a lot of programs for seniors as well, so benefits enrollment. We do the volunteer income tax each year, and then we also have these programs that are working with people that are unhoused. They offer credit counseling, career counseling, financial coaching. So there's a lot of different ways that someone might come to us. They might be referred by one of our partner agencies. They might walk in our front door. They might come here for something else. It might be that they have a child in one of our centers and a family advocate finds out that they're behind on their rent. But once they do come to us, they're going to talk to, one of our client intake specialists, or it might be a housing specialist. It really depends. Or it might be a family advocate. Depends on, what door they came in. So we want to ask a lot of different questions to make sure that they're not leaving here not accessing any of the other services that we can provide.
While local organizations like Community Action Marin can help clients access dozens of different federal, state, and local programs, Season of Sharing Fund is different. To start, it has fewer restrictions. It's not age-dependent or only for families or specific populations.
So I would say it's probably one of the most flexible rental assistance funds that are out there. If somebody comes to us for assistance, let's say somebody is unhoused and they need a deposit. Well, the first thing we're going to check out is, okay, you're unhoused. Are you eligible for any of the programs that are designed specifically for people who are currently unhoused? And if that's the case, we're not going to use Season of Sharing. If you're transitional age youth, we have some special funding for that. So we're going to go right to that funding. We want to try to reserve Season of Sharing for people that aren't eligible for something else.
Many financial assistance and poverty relief programs require a lot of legwork and hoop jumping. By design, Season of Sharing Fund tries to avoid as much of that as possible.
The application process is simple. I would ask you, I'd want to know your name.
David Boyer,
Okay, and I would want to know when you're born.
October 9th,
Right.
1971.
1971. And then don't answer this question. I'd probably ask you for your social security number.
124XXXXXX.
There you go. Then, what's your address? How long have you lived there? And who's your landlord? How much rent do you pay? And then let's talk about your situation. We're not going to dig really, really deep. We might ask you to bring in a bank statement to show that, I'm pretty tapped out. I don't have my rent. And I'll just give you an example. If you came in and your bank balance shows that you have more money than your rent, than the rents that do, we're going to talk to you about that and say, you actually do have the money. And you might say, I was saving that for something else. We go, well, this program can't help you. You need to pay your rent.
Another way Season of Sharing Fund is different, they don't provide ongoing assistance. They see their financial support as a bridge to help get you through a rough patch.
If we can provide you with, this month's rent or next month's rent or last month's rent, are you able to sustain yourself going forward? We don't want to just delay the inevitable for 30 days. So let's say if somebody's monthly rent exceeds their income and that's not going to change next month, this isn't the right program for you because it's not going to provide long-term help. And if you were here 6 months ago for rent with Season of Sharing, we can't help you. It's not like it's an exact science. And it's not like, some of the federal programs really are very cut and dry. Like for energy assistance, if you make $1 more than the income limit, it's not negotiable. It's a federal program. Whereas with this, there are kind of judgment calls in it. I mean, we know that nobody can see the future perfectly. So let's say you got behind in your rent because your roommate moved out with no notice. And so your plan is to get another roommate. And you've had roommates before, you've done this. I don't know for certain that you're going to have a new reliable roommate next month, but we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
There's one more crucial way that Season of Sharing is unique. Unlike many assistance programs, the fund is built to work fast, because if you're trying to stave off an eviction, time matters.
Once we've got that information, I've got your lease, I've got your W-9, you've shown me that this assistance is what is needed to keep you going, then I'm going to put in a check request, and within a couple of days, there will be a check that will be sent to your landlord.
What?
And that's how it goes. I mean, it takes a few days, but really it's within the week. I mean, within a week, we can resolve that situation. And if we can provide somebody with that immediate rental assistance and they don't move towards eviction and become unhoused, that's huge. That's huge for just a number of reasons. Even when someone's working, if you lose the housing that you have, now you've got to go find new housing. Well, now you've got this huge deposit to come up with. And the deposits aren't like they used to be. I mean, it's not at all uncommon to see people needing to come up with $6,000, $8,000, almost $10,000 to move into an apartment. And nobody has that kind of money. And if you've been in your rental for a while, maybe your rent isn't as high as it would be if you're moving in tomorrow. And so it really sets people back. And once people become unhoused, it's really difficult to become housed again.
How would you describe the typical Season of Sharing Fund recipient? Are they any different than the rest of the people you serve?
Generally speaking, the people that are applying for Season of Sharing tend to be working households. And it's something happened that they weren't expecting. And it could just be like that one dental bill or that one car repair, and now all of a sudden you can't pay your rent and things start to snowball. And part of it is that the rents are so very high that a lot of our clients are paying, way more than the recommended, 30% of your income. A lot of people are at 50%, some more, and that doesn't leave any wiggle room. The wealth is really obvious in Marin, so I think a lot of people aren't aware of how many people are really suffering here.
In a region known for its wealth, precariousness abounds, and the number of people in need is growing and fast.
So this is, I think, year 33, 34 for me. And we've been doing season of sharing since the inception. And this year is really different, David, in that we have so many people coming to us for rental assistance, more than ever before. And I think there's a couple of factors that have made things change. One was that during the pandemic, a whole new bunch of people couldn't pay their rent. People that had paid their rent forever, and all of a sudden there were, hundreds of households that got into that position. And there was federal funding for that. And we were one of the agencies that moved that federal funding out into the community, which means that a whole new group of people in Marin County found out who Community Action Marin was. Also, with the increasing rents, more and more people are falling into this situation. People that have full-time jobs that maybe this wasn't their reality before. They might have been going paycheck to paycheck, but they were managing. And so now we're seeing more and more people, because I can tell you that right now, I think there's like 600% more people asking for the money than there is the money. So that's where we're at right now, is just looking at, wow, we've got this really long list of people. How do you decide who gets help? I don't have the answer for that. We're really working on what else. Are there other layers that we need to add? Are there other things we need to do?
Season of Sharing Fund Executive Director Kevin Swanson is all too aware of the challenging math.
We serve about 5,000 people a year, and that's been the case for a few years. But the amount of money we need to serve those people is more because rent's increased, and then more people are experiencing additional needs. And, with inflation, we all experience this when you go to the grocery store. You walk out with less groceries and it costs you more. And so we know people that are already on a tight budget are feeling that pinch. And so people that might have come for us for housing assistance, we might also cover a water bill that they might not have needed help with before. So we know people are needing a little bit more than they might have in previous years.
So what are the types of assistance that you guys offer?
Back rent, current rent, future rent, as well as security deposits and first month rent. We also provide support for mortgages. So if somebody has a overdue mortgage payment, we would help with that. We have this category called critical needs. So that is electric bills, water bills, heating bills, some necessary medical equipment, and furniture like a bed or a kitchen table. And then the support we provide for food banks.
Can you talk a little bit about the work you do with them?
So when we started out in 1986, that was what we did. We worked with housing assistance and with food banks. And when you think about stability and home, what does it mean? It's like having a place to live and having food to eat. You need those things to survive and to be able to thrive. During the pandemic, we saw the vital role that food banks played. If you watched the news, you saw these incredible lines of people lining up for food from food banks. We know that there is still a huge need out there, and hunger is a pervasive issue. So we are very fortunate that we were able to rise to the occasion and increase our giving to food banks. That has continued, and now about 15% of the funds we raise go to Bay Area food banks in each of the 9 counties. And last year we provided about $2 million to Bay Area food banks, and we asked them, what does a dollar buy for you? And they say it's about 2.1 meals. So it's about 4 million meals.
While Season of Sharing Fund made a few tweaks during the pandemic, the organization has remained clear about its model and mission.
Season of Sharing Fund, in a nutshell, is a prevention model where we help keep people in their homes and food on their table. So our model hasn't changed in the many, many years that we've been doing this work. But the brilliant thing about our model, and that we're so fortunate, is that 100% of donations go directly to the program. Our founding partners, the Evelyn Walter Haas Jr. Fund and the San Francisco Chronicle, they cover all our administrative expenses. So if you donate $100, you can know that all of that $100 goes directly to the program. That's a pretty rare situation for a nonprofit organization. A lot of our donors love that. And we want our donors to know your donation, all of it goes to the program. And we're very grateful for your support.
While he's thankful to the entire community of donors, Kevin has a soft spot for one particular subset.
We definitely have some clients that have now become donors, which is a pretty amazing thing. When somebody needed help at one point, we provided that assistance, and they are stable enough now that they are giving to the Season of Sharing Fund, and they trust their funds to us to help other people.
My name is Susan Malloy. I didn't think I would be ending up poor at an advanced stage, but I had no savings at all. I was paying 80% of my income in rent. And when you apply for subsidized housing, you might be on the waiting list for a long time. And then all of a sudden you hear from them and, you need to come up with your security deposit and your first month's rent and all. So I was very, very fortunate to get, a grant from the Season of Sharing for those things. I am happy to be a donor. I want to thank the people who helped me and let them know I was doing good and appreciated it. And, to help other people is a great gift.
Now, what a beautiful story. Somebody that received assistance, understood how it impacted her life, and wanted to do something and give back and help other people that were needing the help that she needed at one time.
Thanks for listening to Sharing Stories, a seasonal podcast from the Season of Sharing Fund. The fund provides one-time financial assistance to individuals and families in the Bay Area during times of crisis, when a little support can have an enormous impact. Together, we help our neighbors remain housed, cared for, and nourished so they can get back on their feet. If you want to hear more stories from recent recipients, go to seasonofsharing.org/podcast or subscribe to Sharing Stories wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, I'm David Boyer, and this is Sharing Stories.